Hello, I'm Mayor George Lantz, and it is a privilege to host my first Village Showcase as your newly elected Mayor of Greenwood Village. Today, newly elected District 3 Council members, Libby Barnacle and Donna Johnston, are here to visit with us about the election to the City Council. Also joining us is our distinguished guest, former Mayor Ron Rakowsky, to share his perspective on the future of the village and what his plans are now that he is out of public office. Please, everyone, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Let's start with a couple questions for you ladies. First, Libby, why did you run for City Council?
I am born and raised in Greenwood Village. My parents are still in the house that I grew up in. And given that history, I feel like I know what residents want and what they expect. I've served on planning and zoning for 4 years now, and I was excited and ready for a new challenge. And with your vacancy upon election to mayor, I saw that chance and seized it.
Well, thank you. Donna, how about you?
Sure. I have lived here for 10 years, and I quickly fell in love with Greenwood Village. I did not know how wonderful the village was until I actually lived here for just a brief time, quickly joined the Sundance Hills HOA and got to know everyone there and their needs and desires, and became involved in city issues shortly thereafter as some developments were proposed, and moved on from there. I was on a Board of Adjustment and Appeals until just a few days ago, I guess, and learned a lot about the entire city from District 1 to District 4, and it's a great place to live, and I am running to make sure we continue to have the quality of life that we've come to expect.
Well, thank you. What can your constituents expect from you, Donna?
Well, I think that they elected me to be transparent and available, and also to represent their needs. They're the same as I walked around campaigning this time as they were 2 years ago, I guess now, when the Save Our Village campaign was underway. People love it here, and they hope that we continue to do whatever we can to protect and preserve the quality of life, whether it's safety or transportation. That's what they expect me to represent them for.
And Libby, how about you?
Anyone who has met me knows that what they see is what they get. So I think that they know and know me to be honest, transparent, ethical, have seen me serve up here on planning and zoning and have liked what they have seen. As a former deputy district attorney in Arapahoe County, I would like to build upon my prosecutorial and law enforcement experience, and I believe that residents expect me to continue to champion safety and security in our community, our schools, our neighborhoods, as well as be very thoughtful in terms of any upcoming developments and to maintain the village that residents have come to want and expect.
Well, that's good. Libby, as a council member, what things do you value and hope to share with citizens, city council, staff, and the entire community?
I hope to share my skills in connecting people and staying committed to the highest level of communication with my constituents. I know that people in District 3 and throughout the city, for that matter, can count on me to be responsive, reasonable, and thoughtful in my approaches to leading the city to some extent. And again, as I said previously, I'd like to really continue to focus on maintaining the safety and security of Greenwood Village.
Right. And Donna, how about you?
Well, one of the things, I have a corporate background and in public relations and public affairs. I'm pretty process-oriented and budget conscious, so I think people can expect that I would be very careful with how we manage the money in the city as Mayor Ron has done in the past, and I know that you'll do going forward. As far as the public relations, they do a great job here, but you can't over communicate on issues that keep coming our way. And that's one of the reasons I did get involved initially. There was a development that was happening in the summer months, and I didn't feel that people in my neighborhood knew enough about it, so I quickly became involved. So communication has always been key. I've already worked with the staff with suggestions over the years, and they take many of them, and I think we've continually improved, and I will continue to do that going forward.
Thank you. Well, Donna, what do you think are some challenges for Greenwood Village, and what would you like to see as a city council member to do to address those challenges?
Well, the biggest challenge is the growth all around us. That's number 1, 2, and 3. I think I read in the Denver Post just the other day that 27,000 apartment units are underway right now, currently, in the Denver metro area. I don't know where that source came from, but I know that the growth is happening all around us, and people want from us to preserve and protect Greenwood Village, the cross-through traffic, whatever we can do, because we love the quality of life here. So they can expect me to be very vigilant on careful planning of growth here in Greenwood Village and doing what we can to prevent the influx of growth from affecting our life.
Thank you. And you, Libby?
I see a couple challenges that the city is facing. I think that growth, as Donna mentioned, is one of those. I think that we need to be careful in the applications and vetting such, so that, a lot of the difficulty with development is how it will affect our traffic and our transportation ways. And I look forward to working with our terrific Public Works Department and finding solutions with any proposed development that may come down the pipe and if approved. I think that it is incumbent upon us as leaders in the community to better tackle some of the mental health issues that have come out of schools as of late, as well as what I see to be a pretty pervasive problem in the increase in underage vaping and use of illicit substances.
Thank you. Well, let's move on to our distinguished guest. Mayor Ron, what do you think are some of the challenges facing Greenwood Village?
The biggest challenge is to maintain the Greenwood Village, we know, but I think the greatest challenge is, as ladies have spoken to, is the development challenge, not so much in Greenwood Village, but surrounding us. We can control, being a home rule city, what happens within the city, but we can't control what happens north, south, east, and west. The other challenge is money. Right now, the city is in good financial shape, but there is always on the horizon a correction in the economy, and I think there's going to be a correction in the economy. And given that our city depends on 70% of its revenue from sales tax and use tax, it could be tight to get through that. We have a history of doing it in the last Great Recession, and with your leadership and the Blue Ribbon Council that you have, you guys can do it. But you're going to have to get out the stubby pencils and put them.
Thank you, sir. Well, let's go back to Libby and Donna. You spoke a little bit about your experience. So can you share a little bit more about your experience with the community service boards, commission, and your homeowners associations? Libby, would you start, please?
Sure. I've already talked about the career background. Following being a district attorney, I was a guardian ad litem for dependent neglected kids in Arapahoe County, and building on that, when my youngest, who is now 9, was in my belly, I was on bed rest for 6 months, and I had a 5-year-old at the time and became really involved, not being able to go to court, in her school. It's the same school that I attended, Bellevue Elementary, and I have really enjoyed being a part of the PTO. I have been a room mom every year that my children have been at Bellevue Elementary School, continue to volunteer at Campus Middle School, and now with my oldest being a freshman at Cherry Creek High School, I'm a volunteer for a huge activity. She is a POM at Creek, and it is a full-time job. So I've also been a part of the inaugural tennis member advisory committee at Greenwood, now Club Greenwood Athletic Club and Tennis Club. So I was a big part of that. I volunteer for Tall Tales Ranch, which is something near and dear to my heart. It is essentially building a community right off of Ridgegate Parkway for people with developmental disabilities. And we're just trying to network now and connect and raise money. And there are quite a few people in my life that have developmental disabilities, one of whom is Michael Hazelhurst, my next door neighbor, the son of Charlie Hazelhurst, who's a former Greenwood Village City Council member and Mayor Pro Tem. So it's pretty special to be a part of that.
Well, thank you. And Donna?
Well, my background, I worked for many years at AT&T, first at public relations, moving up the ranks, and then switching quickly over to public policy, which I quickly found was my passion, working on regulatory and state, federal issues, and then municipal issues after that. I really enjoyed my time there. I got married and moved to Colorado, where my husband was residing, and became the state affairs rep and lobbyist for Colorado Rural Electric Association. So I was down at the Capitol quite frequently. And so policy on issues has always been my passion from various parts of my life. I was involved in the HOA and still am at Sundance Hills, and every little aspect of it, because it's a very engaging community. So much of my community involvement surrounds that. When my son was at Cherry Creek, obviously very involved on the football program and the wrestling program to raise money and make dinners and get the kids going and energized, and that was a nice part of my life. And I continued to do a little bit of that while my son's at college at KU, being a house mom, I guess, if you could say. Not the Moms Club just formed, and we've just been getting active, so I enjoy doing that as well.
Well, thank you. Well, Donna, can you tell us a little bit more about what you love about Greenwood Village, District 3, and your neighborhood?
Well, Sundance Hills is a very special place. When I moved here from Wash Park, we moved for the schools, and I didn't even know that I was going to be moving to Greenwood Village necessarily. I put my son in sailing school at Cherry Creek State Park, and just kept driving around the area, and fell in love with Sundance Hills, and to the point where I told my realtor, it's just going to move here, we'll wait till something comes up. And it had to do with the sense of community that you could already feel just with the pool and recreation center smack in the middle of the area. Now, District 3 is special. Every little neighborhood has its own uniqueness, and the people there love their neighborhoods just as much as Sundance Hills. Some have beautiful views of the mountains. Others just are more nestled in with the creeks and whatever, and they all love their special place. And I appreciate all the little. The builders did a really good job when they initiated Sundance Hills and Greenwood Village in general, with all the different little neighborhoods that they put together that fit everybody just and their needs so uniquely.
Thank you. And you, Libby?
I would say 100% the people of District 3. That's what gets me going in the morning. Those are my people. That's my community. Those are the people that I call if I'm late to the bus stop. Those are the people that I call if I forgot a cup of sugar for a recipe. And those people are special. They're so special. And, Donna and I will have to agree to disagree. I think that Huntington Acres is the best in District 3, to the point where some of my friends had bumper stickers made up that say HA for life. So pretty special people.
Let's move on to Mayor Ron. you have a perspective too. What will you miss about your role in Greenwood Village, and what do you love about Greenwood Village?
You have the residents, of course, and the good news is you don't have to pick which district you like best because you like them all. Mm-hmm. Then there's the businesses, which I've really enjoyed working with. I've enjoyed working with my regional peers as both mayors and the commissions and organizations that I've been part of. And I think, of course, missing council and particularly the good works that some of the mayor pro tem, or not some, all of the mayor pro tems have done, and the staff. It's going to be really hard to not be able to interface with them every day, but it was time. There's a good reason for term limits, and part of that is I'm tired. I want to get some sleep. Being mayor is, in some respects, a 24/7 job, and I've gotten phone calls at close to midnight from constituents. We've had incidents like the I-25 oil truck, which fortunately nobody got hurt. A lot of people's travel plans got messed up. But I think I'll miss that the most, and that is all those parts of the constituency. And then what do I like most? Well, how many children do you have, Mayor? And the answer is 2. And which do you love more? You can't answer that question. And in terms of missing things, it's very hard for me to pick one particular segment. But I think the future of Greenwood Village is strong. We have the financial resources, and we have the staff competence, the council competence to make the right decisions. And that's really the key, because decisions that are made now have an effect 25, 35, 45, 55 years hence. And so you really need to think them through. I think that the quality of our staff is just unbelievably strong, and we're having seen other cities in the counties that aren't quite as fortunate as we are blessed. But that blessing goes back to my predecessors as mayor and also our city managers, particularly the last 2. And so I think in that respect, the great news is I'm continuing to live here. We're not moving. Phone number remains the same. So I think that I would be available to be reached, for people to reach out if they have a question that I might be able to give input to. Not a decision, just merely an input, in many cases historical. So.
Well, as you well know, I do have your number, and I will be reaching out. Well, back to Libby and Donna, are there some, on a personal note, are there some additional things that you'd like to share with the citizens of Greenwood Village? Donna, let's start with you.
I really care about the transportation issues in Greenwood Village. I think that's top of mind of a lot of the residents, and I know that sometimes we're limited in what we can do, but I will continue to look at whether it's cars, pedestrians, bicyclists, the safety and easy transport of people in District 3 and elsewhere in Greenwood Village.
Thank you. And Libby?
I think just in closing, as a personal touch, the thing that I'm most proud of is the family that I've created with my husband Colin, who is also an attorney, and my oldest Louise, like I've spoken about before, a freshman at Creek, and my youngest Emmeline, who's a 4th grader at Bellevue. And I also have 2 Australian Shepherd puppies, Petunia and Begonia, who I love dearly.
That's wonderful. Is there anything else you ladies would like to add?
We look forward to working with you and the rest of the City Council. Congratulations on being the 14th mayor in Greenwood Village. And it's going to be an exciting time for all of us, and I know we'll enjoy working with you and the rest of the council.
Well, thank you.
And who knew?
And we'll miss Ron.
We will. You have some big shoes to fill. But who knows, I mean, what a wild ride this has been. When you knocked on my door in 2015 asking for a signature on your nomination petition to City Council. And wow, I just could not be more excited for you, and so excited for the citizens of Greenwood Village to be under your helm.
Thank you very much. And Mayor Ron, Would you like to share a few words here in your thoughts on retirement and any additional words of wisdom you'd like to leave us with?
Thank you. Well, in many respects, I'm finishing my third career. As to number 4, nothing's settled yet. I just want to catch up with all the things I've set aside for the last couple decades to do. But I think that the important thing is I might go back into special districts, which is where my Greenwood Village political career started, and there may be a slot or two that I could fill there. I think that my one word to your listening audience is please keep in touch with your elected officials. They're not able to judge what you want. It's better for you to tell them what you want. And also, I think that we're unique. We have the ability to stay unique. And as the greater Denver area grows, we will maintain the oasis of common sense and good living. And unfortunately, the price points are such that not everybody's able to take advantage of that. But I look forward to watching you continue in your political career, and also the 2 young ladies to my left. And who knows, after your 8 years of being mayor, it may be time for another lady mayor.
Well, that's very kind of you, and we once again appreciate all that you've done for everyone in Greenwood Village, and look forward to working with these 2 ladies here, and a great addition to our outstanding city council. We'll have 4 ladies and 4 gentlemen serving on city council now. Thank you very much for joining me here today. I really appreciate it. As both Libby and Donna can attest, we look forward to serving on the city council as we strive to collectively work together to create policies and solutions that will protect and maintain the quality of life in Greenwood Village. I'm Mayor George Lantz. Thank you for watching.